Now is Layla Law Gisiko, who's an activist with the Chelsea NYCHA housing. Welcome to the show, Layla.
Thank you so much, Rebecca.
So, Layla, we've talked before, but there's been some new developments with this the plan by the city to start demolition and redevelopment of NYCHA housing in Chelsea. Right now, the New York Attorney General, Letitia James, and other lawmakers have asked NYCHA to pause the project until the start of the new year. So why is that happening? What's happened for her to make that decision?
Yeah, so to situate people a little bit, and for a little bit of background, the city has been pushing for the demolition of 22 buildings in Chelsea that are public housing, NYCHA buildings, and the grand plan and the grand vision is to actually segregate public housing tenants into 6 buildings while using the reclaimed land for market rate development. And in order to do that, they obviously need to move tenants who are currently occupying these buildings. And, those tenants, especially seniors who live in the senior building, which is one of the first buildings that would come down if this plan moves forward, are very, very reluctant to move. Some of them are explaining that they don't feel safe moving to a different apartment, that the apartments that have been offered to them do not meet their physical conditions. Lots of them are sick, have mobility issues, and the apartments that NYCHA wants to relocate them is actually not adequate. So because NYCHA is cruel, instead of going through due process or listening to the concerns of these tenants, NYCHA has decided to take these tenants to court. But instead of going to housing court, where automatically these tenants would have right to counsel, meaning that they would be provided a lawyer at no cost to them, NYCHA decided to take them to court in state Supreme Court. So state Supreme Court is the court where, like big commercial companies sue each other, where, big settlements happen. It's like, the court where you're not actually given right to counsel. So these tenants who are elderly, the most vulnerable among us, many of them are native of other countries and have limited command of English, are taken to court by NYCHA in a court system that they are absolutely not familiar with, and in a setting where they will not receive right to counsel or pro bono lawyer. This is beyond cruel. And of course, all of that is happening around Thanksgiving and the holiday season. Beyond cruel. So the letter that the Attorney General, as well as all the elected officials who represent the area, basically said, okay, we understand you want to move forward with this plan, but due process really matters. Please pause and reconsider your strategy for moving these tenants to other accommodations. So this is where we are. And NYCHA made it clear, once again, because there's an incredibly cruel and heartless agency, they basically declined the request from the elected officials.
I see. And this. So what's going to happen? What are the tenants going to do?
So we were able to organize and to raise funds, which, by the way, I appeal to anyone who's listening today, please, please, please contribute to our legal fund, because we desperately, desperately need help to actually fund the lawyers who are going to represent these tenants. Right now, there are at least 17 tenants who are being taken to court by NYCHA, and some of them will actually be in court to answer to this litigation. They will be there as defendants against NYCHA, once again, for a plan that is entirely sponsored by related companies, is one of the largest real estate companies in the world. And they will have to respond in front of a judge as to why they do not want to move, why NYCHA is actually not acting in a way that is consistent with their rights, and why NYCHA's request should be denied.
And that's not going to happen probably now until what, the new year, or it's happening next month?
No, they are going to be in court next week.
Next week?
Yeah.
Which day?
Six tenants are going to be in court next week. We believe it's going to be on Wednesday. And other tenants are in front of other judges, but all of this is going to happen very, very quickly. And that was exactly the point of the letter that was sent by the Attorney General to James, was to say, just wait until January. Let's pause this nonsense. Let's stop this harassment and this coercion. Whether you're for or against this project, we all have to agree, and I think we all agree, that due process is really essential. Even if you think that this project is fantastic, which, by the way, I don't, but let's pretend for a second that, one would make the convincing argument that this plan is good. You cannot move people against their will and against their rights to accommodations that do not fit their needs. These folks are in their 70s, 80s, 90s. You have a couple, they're 92 and 94 years old. They do not want to move. And we have to make sure that even if in the end NYCHA manages to convince them to move, you need to make sure that you take their needs into account. There's just something incredibly, incredibly cruel and rushing during the holiday season, where, quite frankly, these tenants have gone through so much already. It has been so incredibly stressful. They tell us of their fear, of their despair, of their anxiety. People cry. People, are going through depression. Now is the time. We just celebrated Thanksgiving. The holiday season, the December holiday season, is upon us. Give them a break. Just give them a break.
Layla Law Gisiko, we're going to have to leave it there, I'm afraid, but I will definitely, let's have you back on the show either Wednesday or probably, depending on what's happening with the court decisions, on Wednesday or Friday next week, because I do want to keep following this story about Elliott, Chelsea and Fulton houses, NYCHA housing. And thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. And thank you for following the story. We really, really appreciate it.